All right, so this is titled "The Metaverse is Coming and Zuckerberg Will Own Your Brain." Dun dun dun.
Let's jump to this story real quick from The Verge. Nike just bought a virtual shoe company that makes NFTs and sneakers for the metaverse. Now, why do I bring up metaverse in this context? We're talking about finance and inflation and prices. My friends, hear me now. The metaverse is going to happen. Maybe not Mark Zuckerberg's, but there will be a metaverse. And it's already happening, apparently. A couple just got married in the metaverse.
I cannot even begin to tell you how obnoxious this whole metaverse story is. It is so fucking irritating. It is really irritating because everything that they're going to talk about has been around forever. And I mean fucking forever. I can't even tell you how many times people have been married in Second Life. Second Life has been around forever. I don't even know when Second Life started. It was a long time ago. I'm actually kind of curious. Second Life, Second Life was launched June 23rd, 2003. 2003. And there has been VR plugins. They don't really work very well anymore, which is kind of frustrating. But like this whole concept of a metaverse, I mean, it's been around for fucking ever.
Cryptocurrency will likely be the currency and tracking mechanism by which you own, to whatever extent you can own a digital piece of property. Now, when they say you'll own nothing and you'll be happy in that World Economic Forum video or that article, they're talking about physical objects. But I genuinely believe the singularity will happen. I believe that Bitcoin is going to be a currency for this new digital world. NFTs are going to be how you own unique objects in this new virtual reality.
Okay. Again, this is nothing new. Nothing at all. In Second Life, there is a currency called lindens. And you can buy lindens with real money. And you can exchange lindens for real money. People can go in there and they can create objects. They can create vehicles, clothing, giant tentacle penises. They're there. And like they can code them to have animations and interactions and all sorts of shit. And they can sell them to each other for lindens. And then they can go and turn those lindens into real money. What's the fucking difference? They're like, this is a new thing. No, it's not a new thing at all. It's been around for fucking ever. And like the singularity is near. This is not a step towards singularity. This is not meshing with machine. This is Mark Zuckerberg ripping off of Second Life. That's it.
And this is where everyone is being pushed towards. With the collapse of the U.S. economy and the crisis we're seeing, more and more people are being told, why don't you get cryptocurrencies? I mean, we advocate for the stuff. We don't tell you any advice, but I'm a big advocate for.
Speaking about digital currencies, thank you very much, Digital Demonic Davros. Sorry, the super chats don't play in this screen, but he says, hi, Darth Holiday. Tim didn't listen to you about background noise or any of his bad audio. Tim's never going to listen to me about anything, but I picked up on it. I don't know how somebody who makes this many millions and millions of dollars a year still has like these audio problems. It's very weird.
For it. But let's be real. A universal, a global, digital, trackable monetary system. There's a lot of things bad about that idea. You'll be able to see who has how much money, publicly see how much money a person has.
That's not how the blockchain works. It shows transactions to different wallets, but not who owns the fucking wallet. Like, does Tim not actually understand what Bitcoin is? Or how, like, blockchain works? Like, I don't understand what the fuck. And who cares? Like, I've never understood why people get weird about money. I don't understand. Like, if anybody asks, like, hey, man, how much do you make? I'll fucking tell you. I'll tell you right away. I got no reason to fucking lie.
When they spend,
it's a lot less than you think.
It and where it goes. Now, of course, there's what Zcash and Monero, I believe, make it much, much more difficult. So other cryptos will emerge. But here's what I see with all of this. You're not going to get Mark Zuckerberg nuking other companies and stealing a name if he wasn't dead set on doing it. You wouldn't see Nike buying a company that makes virtual shoes. You wouldn't see this big push. While we're all discussing and debating things like January 6th and Antifa and street violence, I think the real push from the elites, what they really want, is to get everybody in some kind of metaverse, some kind of digital internet-based reality where they're more easily controlled, where they're less likely to pollute or fight. There'll be less conflict. Conflict will be digital, and it's going to be like that episode of Black Mirror. It's the inner universe we're heading towards, and this, I think, shows it's happening.
So we are already there, my dude. We are already there. It's called the fucking internet. We're already there. That's what we're doing right now. That's what I'm doing right now. That's what we are all fucking doing that shit. Social media has always been a source of effectively globalization in which people are replacing some of their otherwise social aspects with a digital medium. This idea that it's going to be done nefariously for sneaky conspiratorial reason, like, it's already fucking happening, dude. It's been there forever. There's nothing new.
So I've been talking about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies for a very long time, and I remember
this fucking guy is so annoying. Ugh.
Interviewing Max Kaiser back in the early 2010s when Bitcoin was first hitting the world stage, and I was like in London, and I was talking to Max. I was walking with him. I was like, how do we know that Bitcoin isn't the one world global government currency that they've been waiting to push onto everyone, where they could track, trace, and database everyone on a public ledger and know everything that everyone is doing?
But you can't do that with Bitcoin. Like, you can't. That's how the blockchain works, bro. What the fuck, dude? All you can see is the fucking transactions. That's it. And there are trackers that look at the fucking transactions, and you can be like, holy shit, somebody just moved like $300 million. But where did it go? Nobody fucking knows. It just says it went into this one wallet. Who has access to that wallet? Who knows? You know what's really crazy, too? There is so much Bitcoin that has been lost. And it will never be found by the way it works. Like, people, Scrappy just said, I bought like $50 of Bitcoin in 2012, but lost the wallet. You know what's going to happen to that Bitcoin? Nothing. It'll just stay out there as a mathematical equation, and nobody will ever access it. It just stays there. So fucking weird.
And I forgot Max Kaiser's response. I got to watch my old videos in order to see that. But whether it's Bitcoin or another government coin, we know Russia's working on their own kind of cryptocurrency. So is Venezuela, where, of course, there'll be less protections for personal freedoms and liberties. Right now, if you have a Bitcoin address, it's as private as much as anyone else who knows about it. So if no one knows that I have a Bitcoin address, there could be money coming in and out. No one would know it unless I publicly tell someone I have a Bitcoin. So it might be Bitcoin, it might be another currency, but there are other people using this technology to push privacy coins, push for people to have total anonymity online, total freedom, total privacy, and it's a double-edged sword. I think cryptocurrencies, it's the new internet, and I think just like it could be used for something really bad and really evil and total government control, I think it could also be used for something that could...
I want to know why, because they just say it could be used for total government control. How? How and in what way? I don't understand. I don't get what the fuck that, how? How in the world is a government going to then just go and do what with the blockchain? They're going to do what? They can't access your shit. They can't take your stuff. They might be able to track some purchases here and there if they could find out which wallet belongs to who, maybe. But you'd have to, be forthright with that. My wallet is public. I don't give a fuck. Nobody's ever sent me anything to it. So it's, not that big of a deal. I see a lot of NFTs being sold for Ethereum. Yeah, NFTs are all based on Ethereum, actually. That's why Ethereum's going fucking apeshit. I mean, cryptocurrencies, it's... I mean, I've fucked around with them in the past, and I don't really have any strong feelings about it whatsoever. I just, it's a risk, and that's why I don't advocate anybody go for it unless they're like, they just want to e-gamble. Because that's all it is. It's just fucking gambling.
Free people, liberate people, and give them privacy, which is absolutely essential in our modern day society.
I think I think it's great. I think Bitcoin's fantastic. But I do think...
Oh, yeah, no, NFTs are totally a scam. NFTs are so bullshit. So fucking bullshit.
It's going to be an excellent tool, cryptocurrencies, the blockchain, in the upcoming metaverse, the digital world. So whether intentional or not, it's happening. Let's pull up this story real quick and we'll add to the conversation. Florida couple holds virtual wedding in the metaverse while simultaneously getting married in real life, complete with avatars that mimicked their exact moves for their online guests.
That's awesome. That's super cool. What's wrong with that?
It's not that crazy an idea. I think people look at this and they don't understand the context. There's a lot of people who couldn't travel to be at the wedding.
Right.
So they did a virtual version so you can put on your Oculus or whatever and watch it happen.
Yeah.
I don't think virtual reality in the metaverse is all bad. I just think that there are creepy elites who want to take away your possessions and your ability to work and make money and stick you in a box where you have no kids and then you...
How would they do that? How would they do that, Tim? How are they going to do that with the metaverse? How?
rot and suffer. I think there's a lot of really bad things about the elites want. Technology's not all bad, though.
How?
However, I do think we are advancing in a creepy direction, and this may actually just be a fad. I do believe we are more likely to be heading into a metaverse singularity type of reality where we're brain chipped by Elon Musk in the next year. That's what he's saying. He's saying next year the chips are going to be available to put in people and do all this stuff. And cool. I do think there's going to be a big push for this. But we also heard, 12 years ago or 14...
Would any of you guys get the brain chip? I think I probably would. It's like the first step towards a data jack. I'm into it. I do not trust Elon Musk, and I do not particularly like Elon Musk. But if Elon Musk gets our asses to fucking Mars and allows me to, like, jack into the internet, I'll get one.
14 years ago, that Verichip, people were going to be getting chips implanted in their hands, and that never really took off. Now, we did see in Sweden, people are getting the chips implanted in their skin, under their skin, that contains their COVID information. And they walk up to doors and they can scan it. But that's the same thing we saw 14 years ago. It just did not happen. People were not interested in it. Now, is that going to be the same thing with the metaverse? That it's this big fad, Mark Zuckerberg dumps all this money and effort into it, and then everyone says, yo, we don't want to do your stupid virtual reality thing? Or are we forced into it?
But I would just...
How are we going to be forced into the... I do not understand. It's just the very hungry singularity. You got a great name for this this video that we're watching right now, buddy. I just don't understand like what he's even really talking about. It's so nebulous. And now we've got like a double layer of weirdo here. Glasses guy is less obnoxious than that dumbass, but he's pretty crazy. So
quickly say that we don't have a microchip in our hand, but we have a phone in our hands almost everywhere we go. And some people say that the microchip was replaced by the phone, which essentially almost acts like the same thing. Another thing I would just want to...
Yeah, I mean, our lives have all like collapsed and we're all slaves now because we have cell phones. What the fuck, dude?
Quickly add before going to you, Ian, is that the metaverse is an excuse to put people into the smart grids in major cities and into the social credit scores. That's how I see it from a lot of the elitist perspectives on what they want to achieve with it. Sorry, Ian, go ahead.
The difference, I think, between what were we talking about?
Chipping your hand.
Yeah, is that the body, people don't like inserting things inside themselves if they can have...
I know quite a few people who love to insert things inside their body. I'm just saying.
It's not true, Ian.
Well, they don't... I don't. Most people would opt to put on the hat instead of inject the needle into their temple.
Yeah.
I know what you meant. I was just making an adult joke.
Oh my God, Tim. Don't mind me. I'm just making an adult joke.
Oh, Tim. I'm gonna have to.
I didn't want to go there. I had a comment lined up, and I was like, okay.
Whereas the body can reject things that you insert into it, whereas the metaverse is just more of like a spiritual, technological evolution.
Bro, have you guys played with?
Jesus. Okay, look. There's got to be plenty of people here watching that don't know about Second Life, and so the metaverse is not real digital freedom. You can't just make anything that you want, look however you want, or do whatever you want. But you can on Second Life. Second Life is true anarchism. It is fucking wild. Wild. And what you will find happens when you give people the ability to do anything that they want. You find that the vast majority of people using it are using it to have the most degenerate, perverted fucking cybersex possible. It is overwhelmingly the biggest moneymaker in Second Life. It is the most common thing people are doing on there. I mean, it is fucking crazy. Fucking crazy. So wild. I like... So, I don't know. Maybe people will not like the metaverse because you can't fuck in it.
With the Oculus.
A little bit.
Not yet.
There's a game called
Dude.
like Pirate Space Robot or something.
Space Pirate Trainer.
It's so good.
Dude.
It's so good.
Space Pirate Trainer is like the most basic, boring ass beginner VR game. Man, these guys.
Man, it's crazy.
So that was holding the Oculus or the VR back for a while, right? Was that the technology wasn't that good, and now it's good? You're saying?
It's been good for a few years.
Yeah,
yeah.
true.
So
Wireless
one of
true. That's big.
it's wireless. It uses like IR tracking, and so
Yeah. Wind Bunny. I still remember going to a Second Life college back in 2000 that a guy in BDSM gear with wings walked into class. Yeah. Yep. That is what people will do when they are given total freedom. Total freedom leads to banging. And not just casual romantic banging. Human beings are not wired for that. Human beings are wired to get fucking wild. In the absence of any rules and restrictions, human beings go fucking bananas. It just is what it is, you know?
to Ian's point, yeah, I think you're correct in that regard. There's did you know that you can give yourself an additional sense?
Yeah.
Now it's not, people say there's 5 senses or whatever. That's not true. Humans have way more than 5 senses. Like, people don't count a sense of balance, sense of temperature. But you can actually take neodymium magnets
Fuck it.
and implant them under your fingertips and then give yourself electroperception or electrosense. So what happens is the magnets will be in your finger. And I personally know people who have done this. And when you move your hand past a power cable in a wall, for instance, let's say there's a wall and you're trying to find out where the cable is. If you have an embedded neodymium magnet in your finger, you can feel the electric fields in your fingertips, giving yourself electrosense by doing this.
That is sort of true. Sort of true. It has been done on quite a few people. There was a whole movement around people like biohacking themselves. It was really interesting, but not everybody had the same success with it. It wasn't something that because these were like body modification shops, like piercing shops, tattoo shops that were kind of doing this for people. And there were plenty of people that it did not work very well. Quite a few people that it rejected and grew out, and it was pretty painful. Yeah, just don't go into an MRI. That would be bad. That would be bad. Yeah.
The problem is the body rejects the magnet. After a certain
Not always. There are people that I know for a fact have had it for years and years, and it doesn't reject it.
amount of time, it breaks and your body pushes it out through your skin and it falls out.
Yeah.
I heard
Crazy.
a lot of stories about dogs that were microchipped getting, infections and diseases and cancers near wherever they had the microchip injected. Those are some of the stories that I saw on the internet even just a few years ago. So it wouldn't surprise me if they transitioned from
Never heard of
let's
it.
inject it to let's just have it everywhere they go, including when they go poop.
Couldn't you achieve the same effect with using superglue to attach magnets to your fingers? I don't know. I don't think so. The whole concept is the interaction between the magnetic fields, like electromagnetic fields to the magnet, causes some form of physiological effect that the nerve endings inside of your fingertip can pick up on. Now, what exactly that is, I can't tell you. I can't tell you because honestly, I have forgotten terribly when the last time I looked into it, you know.
And how is Elon Musk going to implant the computer chips? Did they figure this out? Have you seen the Neuralinks?
What about, dude, what about fucking pacemakers? People don't just like their pacemakers just shoot out of their chests or some shit, you know, like fucking knee replacements, you know, hip replacements, pins and screws and plates. Like we have ways to make sure that the things that we put in the human body stay in the human body. This is so fucking weird.
Stuff.
Well, the monkey, had to go to surgery.
Very thin copper wires that make contact. So maybe that is too small to get rejected. Maybe it just sits,
They thread them into like the outer layer of the brain. They like carve out like a quarter-sized hole in the skull, and then they thread like, I don't know, 1,000 tiny little fibers into like the top layer of the brain.
Nice.
And then that gives the impulses. Ideally, they're going to evolve it so that they don't have to cut the skull open or insert anything.
Some people are saying they're going to do it like teeth implants.
Huh.
That's another possibility. But some people even reject tooth implants. Some people can't have them because their body just...
I thought we were talking about the metaverse. Why in the fuck are we now babbling incoherently about implants when we don't know what we're talking about? Well, why are they talking about things that they don't understand? Yeah. Let's get a woman's perspective on this. Because if this doesn't pick up, I'm just going to say, fuck it. This is dumb.
And we're the peon slaves.
So on that note, I do have to say that as someone who requires kind of expensive medicine, I don't hate big pharma as much as some people. And as someone who may ultimately end up requiring something that'll keep me from being in a wheelchair, I have to say this stuff is kind of exciting. I'm not going to probably voluntarily sign up for Neuralink, but when they were researching some of these mRNA vaccines, they found some interesting new treatments for whatever it is that I have. And I was like, that's really neat. So you never know where there's going to be an advance. And I was going to say, one of the things that I'm sure they're probably thinking about right now is how your body is going to respond to keeping this inside your body, because you can't even transplant an organ without requiring anti-rejection medicine for the rest of your life, because your body does not want any foreign objects in it at all. Like your body rejects tattoo ink. Your body rejects everything.
Maybe this is why
It's... you're mixing up a couple of things, and she actually makes the most coherent sense out of anybody else in that fucking room. But you're conflating a bunch of different things. The way our body, it's not like it. Rejection is a very, very specific category. Like your body, like rejecting tattoo ink isn't exactly true. It's more the interplay between how your body responds to the inflammation that happens due to tattooing that can cause it. Also, our skin cells replace, like especially like thinner skin, and then skin like on your hands regrow all the time. That's why you can get your hand tattooed and it'll wear off. It's just because you're losing all of that surface area. As simple as that, you know. But yeah, metal is not an organ. Yeah, 100%. You know, like there's plenty of ways in which to like anchor something surgically and it doesn't move. It's just weird. I just don't understand why they're like into it so much. It's fucking, it's gonna reject. It doesn't seem natural. Blah blah blah. See if they go back to talking about metaverse, because otherwise I'm done.
I remember when I was going to say, these kids, you're going to get like a 10-year-old being like, okay, mom, I'm going into the metaverse, and puts on their helmet, goes into their digital shop where they're selling their NFTs, and all these, they're like this really well-known salesman in the verse, and then all these people come by and they're buying all this stuff, and the kid comes out an hour later and pays for his parents' food and like...
Cool. Based. Whatever. I mean, NFTs are a fucking scam, but if the dude... I respect a hustle. I almost jumped on the NFT thing as soon as it started happening, and I was like, nah, I don't think I could look at myself in the mirror if I did that. Fuck that. You know? Like, good. Enterprising young man.
You're going to have we might see a society where the kids are paying for the adults via their digital presence in the verse.
the Matrix got it wrong. In the Matrix, they're like, humans were forced to be batteries for the machines. It should have actually been humans chose to be batteries for the machines, because they got, you know, it's like the Cypher character in the first Matrix. He's like eating steak, and he's like, I want to
Yeah.
be back in the Matrix. But I'll tell you one thing that's going to get crazy too. A lot of what we're seeing about identity issues, where people want to be animals, where people want to be dragons or demon dolls or whatever. I mean, legit, we talked about the demon doll woman. She identifies as a demon doll, whatever that is. Yeah, they're gonna go in the metaverse, and they're gonna be that. So when that little kid goes into his metaverse to sell his NFTs, he's gonna be like a giant duck, and then someone's gonna walk in and be like,
Cool. So what? Who gives a fuck? You could do that. You've been able to do that in Second Life forever. You can be whatever the fuck you want. Like, what's wrong with that? That sounds great. That sounds great. People like to pretend and like express themselves in different ways. And we do have limitations in this world to be able to do that. So having a way to experiment and express yourself is a good thing. I mean, shit, dude, we've been playing role-playing games for fucking ever, and whatever. Maybe sometimes it's something that's really intrinsic and important to you. Maybe it's just having fun. Who cares?
Duckman, what up? Let me get some of those NFTs. I'll take that one and that one. Oh, those shoes are sick. I'm gonna put them on my avatar right now. And then he blinks and then
Give me a quack.
Give me a quack. And then the little kid who's the duck goes, "Meow." And then the kid comes out. He leaves the metaverse and he walks into the bathroom. And he looks in the mirror and just goes, and then he puts the metaverse back on and he's the duck again.
That's not fucking funny. And that's bizarre. Like you just made up a person to try and make a point that does not exist. Like, I do not fucking get this shit. What the fuck? What the fuck? I what the fuck, dude? Metaverse quack dealer? Yeah, man. Yeah. That's funny. God damn it, Tim.
So who's keeping the lights on while we're all in the metaverse?
It's going to be done via smart contract.
The government. The government's going to be taking care of everyone. Everyone's going to be on not only just the
exactly.
social credit score, but what was Andrew Yang talking about? A penance that the government's going to be giving you just to live. What did he call it?
Oh, the
like
UBI?
The UBI. Yeah, there's gonna
stipend?
Be, yeah.
Jesus.
The propaganda
fucking
was
Christ,
freedom
man.
dividend.
Freedom.
Exactly.
Freedom.
How more
Freedom.
absurd and backwards could you get?
That's a good,
Okay, I guarantee you this. Metaverse is not going to pick up nearly as much as it could if it was a true, open, totally free platform where you could be anything you want or do anything you want. They're never going to do that. They're never going to have it open to the point where you can run around with fucking giant-ass titties and 3 penises and have sex anywhere and blah, 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 blah. So it will never pick up that big. So this like weird fear-mongering that they're just going to seduce you with the metaverse is ridiculous. And that it's a big government plot so that they can create a nanny state of drooling people like hooked forever into the machine. This is so goddamn stupid. I can't handle it anymore. I'm calling it quits. This has given me spirit cancer. My cancer now. My spirit now has cancer.